Hey guys, welcome back. It's Erx, and in today's video I decided to answer the age-old question of what you should do when starting out in Albion Online. Now this is a sandbox game, so really you can do whatever the hell you want, but I wanted to see what makes the most money in the first hour, a gatherer or a PvE character. So for this test I made the two free-to-play characters, one that was going to be focusing on obviously gathering and the other purely through PvE and dungeons only. As you can see in the background, I ran both characters through the tutorial, and the main reason for this was to unlock the basic nodes and start off with a little bit of gear on both. Now I don't start the timer until I would come out of the tutorial on both characters just to make fair use of a full hour. Now as this video was more about which one was going to make the most money, I did go on and check the markets before starting the gatherer, and skinning seemed to be the one that was coming out on top because T2 and T3 hides were selling pretty high or higher than a lot of the other resources. And because of this I started in Bridgewatch. When it comes to the PvE, what I decided to do was go with a spear build. Now in hindsight, if I was to change, I probably would have went with a great axe build. I didn't think I was going to get to T4 as fast as I did with the PvE character, so I kind of underestimated that a bit. I did stick with the spear build even when I got to tier 4 because obviously I hadn't unlocked the axe tree, but it worked out fine. I mean, if you were going to continue on with the character, yes, I probably would have changed to a great axe. So here you can see this is me starting. I put timestamps down the bottom. Now this is off the footage, so you can see that I'm not cheating in any way. The only thing that I did have was I had actually accepted the quest on the PvE character before starting the video. I thought I had started recording and I hadn't, so that's why I went back to the boat and started it from there. I have activated the 3-day premium on the PvE character. Now the Gatherer was the first one I did, so you can see that the Gatherer I totally forgot about the 3-day premium. I was thinking, right, I just leave it on, I'll do it later and see how long it's going to take. About 2 minutes in, I figured, like, what the hell, I might as well use it. There's no point in saving it for anything because it is going to be an hour-long video to try and figure out which one's going to make the most money. So with this Skinner, in my mind I was thinking, right, I'm going to go for rough stone and rough wood, and I'm just going to run into town and sell it so I'd have enough money to buy gear with. That was until I stumbled across impalas that were already killed by somebody else and I could skin them. So I was thinking, well, why the hell do I need to run into town? I'm going to be able to skin up or level up my skinning to T3 before I go to town. So that's exactly what I did. With the PvE character, the idea was to go with PvE. Now you can see I'm killing impalas at the moment, and I did try to skin some, and I was thinking, well, it has to be a pure PvE character, so why am I skinning impalas? I need to get away from that. So on that character, I decided, oh, screw it, look, I'm going to go down and just kill some mobs in one of the camps. And with this character, I am using learning points to get up to the tier 3 nodes and onto the tier 4 nodes. Now, I wouldn't suggest to do this if you are a new player. This is only for the sake of this video and to try and get those nodes unlocked faster. If you are using learning points, use them more on gathering than anything because that's what takes the longest time to do. So if you're wondering why I'm using learning points, that is why. So the Gatherer was the first one to make it into Bridgewatch, and I come straight into the markets and sell. Now I do have a mule here, and the reason for that is you can buy mules in the tutorial for next to nothing, like 3 silver or 5 silver. I buy one, and I buy one on each character to keep it even, and it's a good way to get a little influx of money when you start. So I bought the mule, I brought it with me, and I've just sold it in Bridgewatch. Now I do put up a few sell orders, but whatever sell orders that don't sell at the end of the hour, I just sell off and put it towards the total. So just going through the market here, selling all the crap that I've accumulated. On both characters, I also repair all the items and I sell the T1 stuff off just for basic sells. If it's not a sell order, I throw it up there. And at the moment for the Gatherer, what I'm trying to do is I get the skinning knife. So I need the T3 skinning knife. And then once I have the T3 skinner knife, I'll head back out. Now, I still haven't got to Journeyman Adventurer, so I can actually equip an ox. So I'm still on my mule for a good little while before I can get that. I can't even equip a T3 bag, so I don't even have that space to use. So when it comes to gathering, for the first little while you're gathering a lot and you get encumbered quite fast and you have to come back and sell everything. I'm also looking here for a bow, see if I can upgrade the bow. So I'll upgrade from a novice bow. I think I buy the journeyman bow for later on, just to have in the bags. So So I have the PvE character in the market also, just finishing selling up some stuff here. And the gear set that I decided to go with, again, as I said at the start, is the spear build. That is a one-handed spear with a torch. And then I went with a scholar cowl, a merc jacket, and merc boots. So that's kind of be the basic set that I run with. Another thing as well, I did have soups from the tutorial, but if you are going to do solo dungeons, just use fish. It's a lot cheaper and it does the same job as cabbage soups. I go on actually with this character to buy a journeyman bag. Now, probably shouldn't have bought one this early on. I do get to journeyman adventurer pretty fast, but I mean, why I was thinking of buying one now is beyond me, but I did anyway. So the whole idea with the PvE character is I wanted to get it into dungeons as fast as possible. Now I am in T3 gear, which I've just bought. I jump into a T4 zone to do Tier 4 solo dungeons, and the reason being is the T3 dungeons just drop absolutely nothing. I mean, there's a bit of fame in them, but it's just a waste of time. So I quickly came out because obviously I'm on a time. Quickly came out, grabbed my gear, and came to the first solo dungeon I found. Now it's, I don't know, I kind of get smacked up a bit. I've equipped the suit, just waiting for my cooldowns, and then once I've equipped the suit, smash that, and then the first two mobs lead me into a bit of false sense of security. So yeah, I was thinking, yeah, this is gonna go great. Like I have a good bit of fame from the first two mobs, and then I come onto the fire elemental and his friend. Yeah, this doesn't go as well. So yeah, again they give you a knockback straight away, but yeah, they start caning me like proper hard. So at this point I'm thinking, yeah, this is not gonna go down. If I get smacked this hard by mobs, I'm probably gonna not even get the bosses down. So that was the end of that. I decided, right, I'm going to come out of this dungeon and just level up to a tier 4 in the gear. So I basically just run around killing mobs just to get to that T4 level, and then I can go on from there. So the gathering is actually pretty fast. I use a bow because you can pull in mobs. It's just an easier weapon to use when you're skinning. So I always use a bow or range staff or something. Now I do sell off my first batch of rugged hide. I make a nice little penny here, so 12,300. So I am starting to make money on the gather. I haven't actually sold anything yet on the PvE character. I'm still just running around trying to get that T4 node unlocked so I can put better spears on and go into these T4 dungeons. So at this stage, 20 minutes in, already making money on the gatherer, but currently absolutely nothing on the PvE character. But that's not the end of it, because it gets interesting towards the end, and even I was shocked to see which one comes out on top. I thought the PvE character would nowhere near get to where the gatherer had got to. Even when I was playing it, because I'd done the gatherer first, I was thinking, okay, that's fine. We do it a couple of dungeons now. The thing is with the dungeons is you are, I suppose, praying to the RNG gods. I could walk into a dungeon and it could drop nothing. I could have all green chests, get absolutely crap items, but I think in this one the RNG gods were pretty good to me when I went in. So after 20 minutes in on the PvE character, I'm obviously hitting the T4 nodes, which I unlock with learning points again. Would not advise this. Use your learning points if you're going to gather further down the line. But for the sake of the video, yeah, I use learning points on it. Now, I do run into a bit of an issue because at this stage, I have no money. I've been running around killing monsters in a T4 zone, which drop no, basically no silver. So I'm running back to town going, okay, this is great, now I can buy my gear. But how do I make money? It was kind of this point in the video where I was thinking, I need to start again because I haven't done it properly. But I decided, you know what, this is what people will be up against if they came into a new character or they're playing a new character in Albion for the first time. So what I do to make money is run around grabbing rough stone in town. And now every town or every city and in a couple of the zones outside of the cities do have rough stone. And the rough stone sells really well to sell orders. I think they sell like 80 silver per stone, which is, that's good money. So I run around for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes gathering these rocks. And because I need the gear, and the gear for T4 wasn't actually that cheap. I think it was about 10,000 for all of the items. So I think that probably wasted about 10 minutes here grabbing just rough stone. I gathered half of the map of Bridgewatch. They do respawn really fast, so I could have just done the same route over and over again, but stupidly I just ran around the city, went back into the market, and then I bought the tier 4 gear. So I was back into town for the gatherer. I had been gathering thin hide, which I sell for a decent amount there, and I've also unlocked the journeyman adventurer node, so I can now get an ox. I could have stayed with the mule for the next 30 minutes, but a new player would always buy the ox to upgrade their space anyway, so I do buy it. But I also make a bit of a mistake here because I checked the T4 node thinking, okay, I probably will be able to get there in the next 30 minutes, which is absolutely absurd. And I end up buying or trying to buy the gathering gear, the T4 gear, getting ready for that node to be hit. But why I'm buying it, I'm buying it so fast that I make a mistake and I buy a miner's garb and a miner's backpack. Now I do realize and I sell them back, or I try and get them resold. But this was too early on. I shouldn't have actually bought this gear, and I do at the very end of the video sell it and put it against the profit. But yeah, bit of a mistake there I made. On the PvE character, I started buying the items, but the T4 items for what I had made currently off the rough stone wasn't enough. So I do buy a few items on the tier 4, and then go back out and grab some more rough stone. So I mean, we're coming up on 30 minutes here. And I think, like, looking back on the Gatherer was making steady money, where with the PvE character I needed to get to a level where I can run into solo dungeons and start getting those chests to open. After another 7-ish minutes of running around grabbing rough stone, I finally have all my tier 4 gear that I can run and do a solo dungeon with. On the PvE, or on the Gatherer character, what I realized, I didn't have a pot pie, which was a big mistake. I think in about 5 minutes I realized, and I run back to town with the Gatherer to get the pot pie. Now the pot pie will give you a chance to get more from whatever it is you're gathering. So I should have had one of those at the start, but I didn't. But either way, I do equip one eventually. I think I get the last 25 or 20 minutes out of it, which is pretty good. So on the PvE character, I've just looked for a dungeon, have all my gear ready to go. I have my soups. I think I still have a soup active at this stage, and we jump into the first dungeon and see how we get on. So finally, after 35 minutes of messing around, grabbing rough stone, I've got my gear, and it's time to do the first solo dungeon. This dungeon actually is pretty easy, which is good. But what I do, I'll just speed up the video, get us to the chest, so we can see the chest, what's dropping, and pray to RNGesus that it's gonna give us some decent drops. Also, when you're doing solo dungeons, make sure to grab these shrines. It will give you different buffs. Obviously, I've got the damage buff here, which increases. It's basically like a bloodlust. So you're going to do more damage output plus move faster. So always grab these buffs. It will always help you in the long run. So onto the first boss in the dungeon, and typical, it had to be a shrine. It wasn't a chest, which kind of sucked, but look, I mean, a shrine will still give me, I think it gives me a fame buff, which is pretty good, but yeah, it wasn't really what I was hoping for. I needed to try and make some money. I mean, I have 20 minutes to go, and currently I think at this stage I'm sitting at like 200 silver, so not going too well, but you'll be surprised how it switches. It switches quite fast, and even to the point where I sell all my items at the end, I still didn't think I was going to get there. But stay tuned and you'll see what happens in the end. So with this blue chest, it's kind of obviously the first one to drop me some items. I did get lucky. I got a T4 group dungeon map, which sells for a decent amount. And at this stage, I mean, 15 minutes left, and I've just got my first chest. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking there's no way he's going to get close to the Gatherer, but I must agree at this stage, I did think, I was thinking the same 15 minutes. If this goes down to another level or anything like that, I might not be able to make as much the Gatherer, but it does change, which I was quite surprised about. I got lucky on timings here. Now over on the Skinner, I'm still going strong, grabbing these thin hides. I have eaten a pie at this stage, so I have the benefits of that. I should have eaten that earlier on, but I didn't. Now the best thing about skinning is you are speccing up into a weapon. So at the moment I'm speccing up into the bow. So if I was to change over to doing dungeons or anything like that, I have a bit of skill in the bow tree. Now the downside to skinning is when you go to the black zone and you're skinning, you have to kill the mob. So you could be in the middle of killing some mobs, and halfway through, as you're sitting at half health or anything, some gankers can come along and you're either going to have to run or you're going to get absolutely smashed. So it's dependent again on skill, but you know, you have that risk. So this blue chest wasn't too bad. You notice I got 3 tier 4 bags that dropped, which is pretty good. Now at the time I didn't notice this until I was back in town. And the whole idea now was to try and find another solo dungeon. I still have 12 minutes left, so to try and get another solo dungeon, I thought I could get another boss down, maybe open another chest, get some more items, and then at the very end sell all this. So I'm on my way to try and find another solo dungeon. I do stumble across a group of mobs that have a chest there, and that chest has a chance to drop different items and silver. So by stopping there, I was thinking, look, I need to try and make as much money in the hour that I have. So I could see there's a solo dungeon there, which I was jumping into next. Now on the Gatherer, you can see he's getting absolutely caned by mobs. I think they've just had enough of me killing them at this stage, so I had to reset them there. So I was happy I came into this solo dungeon. I did get a purple chest from the first boss, which I was hoping that had a few items in that I could sell on, make it some more money. And because I still had 7.5 minutes or so left, I was thinking if I can get this boss down fast, I'll be able to get the last one in or another one in and get the items from that chest as well. I do get tagged by a couple of abilities, which is quite infuriating. I do find being in Europe, because the servers are located in America, that we do have a bit more lag, or you know, a bit more ping over this side. I noticed in the black zone when you get dismounted, you could get dismounted and then it will stutter for like a full second, and people start caning you before you even can adjust to what's happened. So just killing off the last boss here. I was very surprised that this was the end of the dungeon, that I did manage to get the dungeon done in time. I thought it might go down another level and I wouldn't have a chance to complete it, but I did. So instead what I do here is go out and start killing mobs, because with the Gatherer, for the full hour I was gathering all the way up to 60 minutes. So I was doing the same for the PvE. I just run around, kill some mobs, try and grab some silver here and there, and then on the hour is when I go back and I sell everything and see what the profits are. It's just coming up on the full hour. I was just killing off these mobs here, and it was close. It was close to see could I get the last one skinned or not. So that is it. That's the hour up on both characters, the Gatherer one and the PvE. And the first one I'm going to do is the PvE character and just sell everything off in Bridgewatch Market. Now, I am selling everything to buy orders just to make the money straight away. But if I was to advise or if I was doing this to keep this character, I would put everything up as a sell order to try and make more money because you will. You can see with the dungeon map, the T4 dungeon map that dropped for us, you can sell it to a buy order for 21,000. Again, you could use this if you were doing your other character. You could use this as a flipping item that you could sell. Now, I don't know how much these will actually sell, but you know, I make 23,000. If I put it up as a sell order, I could have made 32,000, which is a lot more money. So I go through, just sell everything off, which everything's selling pretty well. These relics and souls are pretty good. The higher tier relics, you know, you're talking a couple of thousand. So if they drop this Xbox relic, for example, is 1600, so they make a bit of money. This is where I figure out that I have 5 Adepts bags, where I was kind of sitting at 56,000, and this was a bit of a shock to me. So I make 23,000 if I put it down as a sell order, but I've just sold it for 19,500 and made a bit of money there, and then the last item. So in total, when I open up these bags, you'll see I've made 89,500 for the first hour of the PvE character. So it's not too bad. I mean, close on 100,000. There's definitely no way to stick your nose up. I don't know how anyone begs in this game, considering, you know, if you're making 90,000, 100k just by doing the basics. I mean, you can make a huge amount of money. So let's jump over to the Gather and see how much they make. So for the Gatherer, I did have a few items already up as a sell order within the hour. I was trying to sell them for the hour. Again, that Adept Skinner backpack that I bought, I'd sell that off. You can see I'm sitting at 15,000 silver here, so I do have that bit extra money over the PvE character, and I'm just taking down the sell orders that didn't sell. So the thin hide I'm selling, like you can see there, that's already a stack, 65,000, and then another 20,000 there, which brings me up to 100,000. I did make the mistake of buying the gathering gear, the tier 4 gathering gear. So if I take that into consideration and add up the figures on that, I would have made close to 120,000 with this character within the hour. So it gives you a good insight of which one is making the more money. With the PvE, it's very RNG, down to solo dungeons. You can get very lucky. Obviously, you can get some items there and sell those off, as you can see with the tier 4 map. It comes down to what you enjoy most. As you can see, they're pretty close on what they brought in over the course of the hour, and this is the first hour. You could optimize this, you could do it faster, you could, you know, pop your pie or eat your pie earlier on. But as a general rule, I mean, look, your first hour on a free-to-play character, 100,000 silver is a good bit to get going. So I hope you did enjoy the video and give you some insight of how much you can make in the first hour. If you did like the video, please like and subscribe for more content coming soon on Albion. And if you do have any comments, put them down below and I'll try to answer as much as I can. Thanks for watching.